Greetings, I'm George Boston Rhines, and once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press. And behind me is the Quitman Free Press, a newspaper that was established in 1876. I want to draw your attention to today's publication of what's published in the Quitman Free Press concerning a very high-profile court case here in Brooks County concerning Lula Smart, one of the Quitman 10 plus 2 members. We don't believe that they have done anything wrong. However, it is what it is. And we can honestly say that as we move into the 11th day of hearing in this high-profile case, that there is very little news media that is getting out across South Georgia, the state of Georgia, the United States of America, and the world. When a novice or uninformed Georgia citizen read the Quitman Free Press, it says the voter fraud trial beginning August 21st in Brooks County courtroom reconvened on August 26th. During this time, prosecutor witnesses were called for the defendant, Lula Mary Smart. If you didn't know any better, you would think that that is the news. And can you imagine that when our children go to school and they are asked to do a story maybe on the Quitman 10 plus 2, and they go back to the newspaper and they write concerning this historic case, and it has that the trial started on August the 21st. Is that truth or is that falsehood? You decide. If you want to know the truth, simply go to Boston G.B.R. on YouTube. Point 2. Security is tight. 2 spectators in the courtroom were asked to leave by Judge Clary McCovey because they were wearing t-shirts promoting the defendant. Is that true or is that false? This is why you need to be in the courtroom, to see just what is being published concerning the Quitman 10 plus 2, and you also need to ask yourself a question. What was published in the beginning of this trial? Of these charges, was it truth or was it falsehood? Earlier this year, the trial is about a problem that began in July 2012. A trial began in July 2012. Now, the question is that true or is that false? When the county election poll worker showed some voters had already cast ballots. Ballots the voters claimed they had not submitted. Now look, let's be truthful. This is what we want on the Ghetto Free Press. Go to kvci.blogspot.com. Read the Valdosta Daily Times and see if this is true, or did they give the reasons originally for these people being called in because there was a spike in absentee voting ballots. Then, after that was showcased throughout the media in South Georgia, other things followed. Defendants are being tried separately. Now, do you remember that it was published that Nancy Dennett also was being tried with Lula Smart? In the Quitman Free Press, in one of their articles about the Quitman 10, they published that Dennett would also be in the mix. When I already knew it was on the court record that she had been removed, and so it was just Lula Smart, not Nancy Dennett. Defendants are being tried separately. The trial was not held on Monday due to the Labor Day holiday, but started again on Tuesday, and that is correct. However, I will say again that it is amazing, and I do mean amazing. I've been saying this for some 20 years or more, that there is something seriously wrong here in South Georgia when they fail to report, the news. But we are 100% sure that all of our active duty military veterans, our retired and disabled military veterans, should have a right to have the information disseminated correctly in their community. And can you imagine 12 outstanding citizens are in the courtroom with the jury, with members from the local area, people from Macon, Atlanta, and other areas, yet the news media in the state of Georgia, they are showing us just how little they care about voting rights. And we must question the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, as well as Governor Nathan Deal, and perhaps the Democratic and Republican parties for not being in this courtroom for this historic court case concerning voting rights here in the state of Georgia, the United States, and in the free world, they say. Once again, I'm George Boston Ryans. This is the Ghetto Free Press, doing what I do because somebody got to do it. It is so sad. The Valdosta Daily Times, all the news media outlets here in South Georgia are all quiet. People are asking me, why aren't the news media in the courtroom? Is there a conspiracy that leads all the way up to Atlanta and perhaps Washington, D.C., for no one really knows just how deep the mole hole goes? Once again, the G.B.R., District Attorney David Miller, Assistant Attorney Brad Shealy, the G.B.R., the Secretary of State, Governor Nathan Deal, who removed elected officials from the Brooks County Board of Education. All this seems to be an orchestrated effort to dilute or to keep people from registering and voting here in Brooks County. When you look and think that a postal worker took official mail out of the postal channel to provide to a third-party private investigator, yet you didn't hear nothing about that until pressure was put on the Postmaster General that he should do something, because that's a bad precedent to set that any postal clerk can tamper with official mail and nothing be done. Even more importantly, that you must consider that the local news media in South Georgia are not reporting that the registrar could take absentee ballots from the polling place assigned by the local government to her home to process them. She could have, God knows what, could have done with those at home. But then again, that too has been totally ignored. Given the indications, giving the appearance that it's okay for other registrars in Fulton County, Douglas County, and in many counties to take ballots home and process them or put them in their suitcase and take them down to South Florida while they're on vacation and process them, then bring them back, or the ones they want brought back maybe, and won't nothing be said about it. This is the precedent that the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, perhaps that stands up to the governor. This is the precedent that many people are asking in the courtroom and outside of the courtroom as this high-profile case takes place and is underway. Once again, today marks the 11th day of this case with little to no news media coverage. Once again, I am George Boston Ryans of the Ghetto Free Press, and we do this because we believe you have a right to know, and we are out here because this is the newspaper that the people in Brooks County look forward to. And, well, we can only ask, are they fair and are they balanced? This is George Boston Ryans saying bye-bye, we go.